Serving their community is who they are because they love where they live. REMAX 3D Real Estate is proud to bring you Heart of Royse City, a video series dedicated to celebrating all the wonderfully great things about Royse City, Texas. On every episode, Denisha Denny will share Royse City's story through the stories of the people who call Royse City home. This is Heart of Royse City.
Thank you so much for watching Heart of Royse City. I asked Clay Ellis to come on the show because of how much time and energy and effort he has given back to this community. I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Clay Ellis. Hey y'all, I'm Denisha Denny, your host of Heart of Royse City. We are sitting down today inside our REMAX 3D Real Estate office located next to Starbucks. And our guest today is Mr. Clay Ellis with Bob Ellis Insurance. How are you today, Clay?
I'm doing good, thank you.
I just want to tell you, thank you so much for agreeing to sit down with me and us get to talk about Royse City and what you love about Royse City. So let's start with that, Clay.
Royse City to me reminds me of a small town that I grew up in Louisville, back in the early 70s. And when we had an opportunity to buy an insurance agency here, we just loved the idea of doing that and raising our kids in a small town. So that's what we loved about it. It was small, the people were great, and it just felt like home.
When did you do that?
We bought the agency in 2000. We moved here in 2003.
Okay. So who did you buy the agency from?
That was from a gentleman named Mark Sullivan. Some of the locals will know him, he did pass away, and that was one reason why he was selling the agency. But we bought it from him on Halloween, 10/31/2000, and we've been here and live here in the community ever since.
So from Louisville to here, how did you find out about it? That's not just right down the road.
Yeah, it's interesting how that came about. I worked as a warehouse manager and always did a blue-collar type job growing up, and I worked a lot of hours. And my Uncle Bob asked me if I was ready to do something different and try something different, and I said sure. And we found this agency for sale, and it was just something that seemed like a great opportunity for us, and it was a great opportunity for us, and that's how we ended up out here. We're kind of the black sheep of the family, I kind of say, because my family is all in Louisville, Flower Mound area, so is my wife's family. My wife has a brother named Andy. I have two sisters, our mom and dad, and my mom and dad are still alive out there, but they all live within a 2-mile radius of one another. And so we're the only ones that moved away, so we're the black sheep.
Well, it seems like it worked out for you.
It has. It's worked out great. It's just driving through Dallas to get back home over there sometimes to see everyone is difficult, but that's it.
Well, I'm curious, how did you find this business for sale? It's not like businesses are always posted, and back then in 2000, social media wasn't what it is today.
Yeah,
so how did you actually find it?
It's all, Uncle Bob actually found an agency from my brother-in-law, who has an agency in Louisville. So he used to be a marketing rep, and
Okay.
So he called on agencies, and as you call an agency, you get to know those agency owners, and he found several that were interested in selling, but this was the best fit for us.
I knew Mark Sullivan,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
so I actually knew him, so
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you were the ones that purchased that from him.
Yes,
So
yes. And,
shout out to your Uncle Bob.
Yes, yes, and Gina, I think she still owns the same building that's here in town. That's where we started at, right there off of the highway.
Yes.
And then we moved over to across from City Hall now, and we had just sold that building 2 years ago, and then we have a new location now off of FM 2453.
Was that a big adjustment moving from downtown out?
Yes,
kind of out on the outskirts?
We miss being downtown. We miss walking to Arbolados. We miss walking to the well. We miss walking to Sweet Face, walking to the post office. We still come downtown,
Right.
but it's different when you just walk out your front door and walk to where you're going.
What prompted you to move? What prompted that?
I don't know how I got to that point, but we had an opportunity to buy a piece of property, and there was basically 4 owners, and two owners were wanting to get out, so it kind of made sense just to sell the building instead of trying to buy the other two out. So that's what we basically ended up doing, just selling that location and starting fresh with this one. So, and we're real happy where we're at. It's just, we just miss being downtown, but we are close to Bucky's.
There you go. They have everything you
yes,
need.
Yes, they do.
Yes, my mother has discovered Bucky's, and there were a few things that showed up under the Christmas tree.
Oh, I bet.
That came from Bucky's.
Yeah, Bucky's has been just a lifesaver for the city. That in Walmart. When COVID came about, a lot of city sales taxes have really dropped, and Royse City remained strong and kept growing because of Walmart and Bucky's.
Wow.
So,
will you share with our audience what are some of the organizations and positions that you hold within the community?
Sure. I serve on the city council. The mayor pro tem, place 2. I serve on the EDC board. I serve. I used to serve on the Heritage board. I'm off of that now, and I'm a member of the Royse City Rotary Club, and I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce.
There you go.
I think if I got everything.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Those aren't like small little organizations. That's a big role, especially the city council and the EDC, and especially in this community as it's growing so much.
It keeps you involved and it keeps you busy. And again, one of the great things about this city is the people. We have really great people in our city, from our city manager to our police chief, our fire chief, the policemen and the firemen. I mean, I've met these people, and they are really, really good quality people that we have here.
That's what I keep hearing over
Yes.
and over. It's the people and the quality of the people that are here.
They are great.
What made you want to serve on city council? That's not an easy position. You're going to have people bending your ears from all sides. So what made you decide that?
I was asked. Early on. I have to ask Debbie when I started. I think I started in 2008. So I think I've been serving since then. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's 2008. And I was asked to run, and I did, and I've been on ever since. And
that's a long time since 2008.
It's been we've had our city council has been the same city council for, gosh, I'm trying to think how many years now. We have not had very many people leave, and nobody's really been run against. So a lot of our elections have been canceled because there's no opposition. So we remain true to the course, if you know what I mean. We have a vision, and we keep going towards that vision because it hasn't changed.
And that says a lot about the community when you don't have opposition running. That says the community saying, we like what we have. We like the direction we're going in.
Well, we're keeping the property tax the same. We're not have not raised the city tax, and we listen to the community, and we try to bring in what the city wants, what the city needs, and it's not an easy job to do. You can beg, you can offer incentives, you can offer things, but they look at a model, and if you don't fit that model, they're not going to come. And so it's real important to stay in their ear so they don't forget about you. But now we're getting a lot of interest. We're not having to call them. They're calling us now and seeing what's available.
Man, that's where you want to be, right there.
Yes, it is. It's
and,
great.
You know, I've looked up the master plan for the community, and I love how Royse City has planned that out. We know who we want to be.
Yes.
And when you know how you want to grow and who you want to be, it does change who comes.
Yes.
And what you look like and how you grow and expand.
Yeah, one of the biggest problems that we're having right now is that we're growing so fast is keeping up with the infrastructure. You know, we hear a lot about the roads. Roads are very, very expensive, and not only do we have to replace the roads, we've got to replace the water and sewer lines. Most of those are very, very old, and they go back to, some of these go back to the 50s. So, you know, when you do one of these streets in downtown, you're looking at $1 million+ each time, and you can't do them all at once.
Right. And that's something you have to plan for and budget for.
Yes, and sales tax dollars really help with that. And as the sales tax keeps growing, it keeps us from having to do anything with property taxes.
And people like that.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Well, do you have a project that you've worked on over the last, 12 years that was your favorite?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I have a specific project I've worked on, but I've been Irby Campbell, this intersection right here was a long time in the making. People believed that would never happen. And thanks to people like David Magnus, who just passed, he was so instrumental in having that overpass happen. And another one of the greatest people you'll meet in this city. And Larry Lott, who's retired, former EDC director, another one of the greatest guys that you'll ever meet, will do anything for you. They and others, not just them, but they were very involved in making that happen.
Well, they were innovative.
Yes, they were.
And we're helping to plan for the future and laying that groundwork so that we could get to this point here.
Yes, and getting the grocery store, Walmart, was the biggest thing that we could do. Living here, I know it sounds kind of silly, but when I lived in Louisville in the Flower Mound area, it would take us 10 or 15 minutes to get to the grocery store. So I didn't think what was the big deal driving to Rockwall 10 or 15 minutes to go to a grocery store, but it was a big deal to get a grocery store in our town.
It really was. I remember when that was going in, I was like, okay, Royse City is going on the map.
Yes. Well, we tried so many other grocery stores, and most of them knew that Walmart was interested, and they wouldn't come until Walmart committed and knew for sure where they were going to build at. And once they started, we still haven't got another grocery store yet. I do know that, but at one time we had an interest in other grocery stores, but wouldn't come until Walmart happened. And so I do think another grocery store will be coming down the road at some point. And we have a lot of things, that when you start talking to people, you may not see the fruits of that for years later.
Right.
And so, sometimes people don't think that they may not think anything's happening right now, but there's a lot happening right now. And so I hope that in years to come that you'll see the stuff that's going on behind the scenes right now.
Yes, I know there's so many behind the scenes, and I know you can't talk about a lot of those things because of the confidentiality, but what I keep hearing is that there are things going on.
Yes, there is. There's a lot, not just residential, but I'm talking commercial and retail. I was surprised with the retail a little bit with the COVID going on, but we have a lot of things that are being talked about, discussed about, trying to find locations for. So there's a lot of things there are a lot of moving parts.
Do you think Bucky's was impactful with that too?
I think Bucky's was. I think that when people look at Royse City, they look at where Bucky's is and what's available around Bucky's. Bucky's does own. I don't know I used to know, but they bought more land than just what their property sets on, and they'll be selling pad sites eventually, and they haven't started selling them yet. And then that whole major intersection is going to be the hot area, just like Irby Campbell was.
It really will. You can see that the growth is going to keep going.
Yeah, and because of Bucky's, that's why that overpass happened. I mean, they have such a pull with TxDOT too, and that wasn't even on their plans to even get done. Then when Bucky's announced they were coming, that got put on the plans and got moved to the front of the list.
I bet.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the best things that Royse City could have done, was brought Bucky's in.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I can't tell you enough how great that has been. I mean, the sales tax dollars it generates, and then what we were able to grow our sales tax dollars through the COVID, where most cities were losing revenue through sales tax dollars. We're like one of the few cities that were able to do that.
Wow, that's incredible. And then all the housing that's going on here too.
We have a lot of housing going on. There's so many homes that are plotted. I want to say there's more homes plotted right now than there are on the ground right now. So obviously that won't be built out for another 10 years, but there's a lot of growth coming. Now it's kind of, I don't want to say we want to slow it down, but we do want to kind of control it because, like I said, trying to keep up with the infrastructure. We don't have a lot of circulation roads here, and we got 66 and 30 and 548, and those roads are very heavily used.
Yes. They are.
Yes.
They're going to have to be expanded, and
new roads are going to have to be made.
That's right.
To get around.
It's a great problem to have, though.
Yes, it is.
So, what capacity do you serve with the EDC?
I'm just on the board. I'm just I believe our role is chairperson.
Okay. So that kind of all ties in together for you.
Yes.
Being able to be on the EDC and the city council.
Yes.
And
there's 2 city council members on the EDC. The other one is Mike Holder, that owns the 1885 Barbershop, and he's the other gentleman on the EDC. And then Dina Elder, she's our chair, and she does a great job. And our vice chair is Bobby Gladue. And but we have a great board, and that board, again, hasn't changed much either. We have had Charles, who took over for Larry when he retired, and Charles is doing a great job. And so we had Gary Sanders that's going to be building the restaurant on the corner here. I don't want to butcher the name. I think it's Native Station. And so he's our newest board member. So,
That's exciting.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is that everything has been consistent with the board and consistent with the direction of what we want to do. And I think that's one of the reasons why Royse City is doing so well.
What are some things that you hope don't change about Royse City? We're growing so fast and so furious, but what are some of those core things that you really hope stay the same?
Well, when Walmart came, my daughters, they were really mad at me. They did not like all the change. You know, they liked the farmlands and the pasture, and that's the one thing that is going to change a lot that we can't really do anything about. But what we can do is kind of try to dictate what is being built here. And try to, since now that we're sought after, we're not begging anymore, up our standards some, and try to get better quality things. I'm going to miss going into a restaurant and not knowing somebody in there. When I first lived here, we'd walk in and you'd know not just one couple, but 4, 5, 6 different people at the tables around you.
Right.
I mean, you would just know so many people, and I'm noticing that now. Even when we go downtown, I don't necessarily know, but maybe 1 or 2 people in there now. So it's just getting larger and larger. You're not going to know everyone. I hope we don't lose that friendly touch. I really do. That was the thing that made Royse City so great. People just really welcomed you here.
Yes. I bet you won't. I bet it will stay that way. You'll just have to get to know new faces. And
Yes.
now you're just going to have to start going to the tables and
Yes.
introducing yourself.
Yes, I know. With this COVID, it's like we're not doing anything hardly in person right now. So it's really changed the way we do things.
It has. And I think this too shall pass, and
It will.
We'll find our way back to that.
Yes.
As that goes on. So,
Exactly.
well, let's kind of back up. What, maybe in your childhood, what was instilled with you to want to serve? Not everyone has that heart to serve. I'm a Rotarian as well, and I know our motto is service above self.
Yeah.
But that had to be instilled somewhere along the way for you to want to commit. Because serving on all of these boards takes a lot of time and a lot of energy.
It does, and it's something I've always enjoyed. I like giving. I've always been it's never been about receiving for me. I've always liked to give. I always like to help, especially if it's in secret. I guess I just bring that to my parents. I know my dad was a Rotarian. He was Lions Club, and he did all these things too, these civic clubs, and just being a Christian. It's just about loving and giving, I guess I just credit to my parents then, because that's just the way I was brought up. So I had 2 sisters, so I never got my way anyway. So you might as well just give and do what you're supposed to do, and
Right.
move on.
And make your own way.
Yes.
Sounds like you needed to make your own way too. Are they older than you, younger than you?
I'm the middle child, so I have a
Okay.
younger and older.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
So, and then, I always get teased a lot because I had 2 daughters. I didn't have any sons. I work with all women, and, I do as I'm told. I learned.
You learned.
Yes.
Well, it sounds like you found your avenues, though, going back and serving,
Yeah.
and where
Yeah.
you do get to have a voice and
I do.
Get to lead.
And it's great. It's so easy. I really don't consider myself a leader, really, but Mayor Nickel, Janet, I
Yes.
can't tell you how great she is for Royse City. I mean, she is born here, raised here. I mean, I just can't say enough good things about her and what she does for our city, and we're really grateful to have someone that does put Royse City first.
Yes, I did get to interview her as
Okay,
well, and
great.
I really enjoyed hearing her heart. We didn't get to talk much about her because she wanted to talk about Royse City and
Yes.
all the great things going on in Royse
Well,
City.
she's wonderful, and I apologize. I don't have any social media, so I don't keep up with this stuff like I should, and I apologize. But yeah, she is fantastic, and I can't tell you what a privilege it is to serve on the council with her.
I can certainly see that. And she has the social media down.
Yes. Yes.
I love how she keeps the community informed and
Yes, she
you know
does.
what's going on. She's probably one of the most transparent mayors I've seen.
You know, and that goes with our city manager, Carl. He is the same way. And I don't think I've ever met a better communicator than Carl. He keeps us in the loop. He's always letting us know what something might be happening just in case we get caught off guard. And he has done a great job. When he came on board, it was him and Larry Lott that were running this city, and we were, you know, it was a lot for him to learn. He had never been a city manager before, but he, in my opinion, learned from the best. And I think Carl is doing an outstanding job, and then we just have the best mayor in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I second that.
Yes.
Well, do you have a favorite community activity that Royse City puts on every year
Oh, gosh.
through an organization or something like that?
Well, I didn't do it this year. I love Christmas time. Yeah, if you go to my office, we usually start decorating in October. And so we're all about Christmas, and we have a lot of fun with that. And so I would just say that I didn't do the Christmas tree lighting this year. Probably the first year I missed. But I love that time of year and being downtown. So
I think you need to move back.
Yeah, yeah, I really do miss it.
Yeah.
I really do. It was so nice being there, but we also needed more space, and I think that really what prompted the whole move.
Right. That makes sense. I've heard great things about the tree lighting.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's magical.
Yeah, they finally got. We had an old tree for a very long time, and see another great person, Paula. You know, Paula's done such a great job with Main Street, and we finally gotten our budget to where we could get her a new tree. I think it was 2 years ago, but she made do with a tree that was not very good. So, but she made it look good.
Hey, that's what counts.
Yes, it is.
Exactly. Well, I like to ask my guests one final question.
Okay.
And I asked you to pick a random number before we started, and
Yes.
you chose the number 7.
Yes.
So here is your random question.
Okay.
If you were given one superpower,
Oh gosh,
what would it be?
what would it be? One superpower. Gosh. Well, I know I wouldn't want to fly because I'm scared to death of heights. Boy, a superpower.
Any superpower. It's
I know.
unlimited.
I'm trying to, man, why did I pick 7? Gosh. I guess strength. I don't know. I'll go with strength. Super
Would you
strength.
want mental strength, physical strength, both?
all of it.
All of it?
All of it. I would love to be strong and not. I deal with arthritis, so love not to have joint pain. So
Yeah. Oh, bless
Yeah.
your heart.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, okay. So we now know that you would like the superpower of strength.
strength. Yeah.
Yeah. And that could go.
Yeah,
all-
get a lot of
all-
weight I have to carry sometime. There's a lot of things that goes on. So
In holding the positions that you hold, it does take a lot of strength, and there's a lot for you to weigh in
Yeah.
and consider, and knowing that you're making the right decision.
yeah, you see, but things have gotten. Yeah, I will tell you. When I first started in the business, there was so much. Work was work. Now work is fun. I've had. I got great people that work with me now, and I got people that have been with me 11 years, 10 years, 5 years, and now work is, everybody knows what they need to do, and they make work so much fun and enjoyable. And there's just so many blessings that I have in this city. But I guess I'll just end with, I just couldn't think of a better city to live in.
That's awesome. I love how you talked about your people in
Yeah.
your office, and that's where you want to get to be.
Well, they're the ones that will get you where you need to go, because you can only take it so far yourself.
That's right.
And then once you reach that plateau, you're not going anywhere else until you get the right people. And boy, do I have the right people. I can't tell you. I've got some really good ones.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Clay, thank you so much. It has been such a pleasure to sit down with you
Yeah,
and
thank
get
you
to
for
know
having
you.
me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to seeing what you guys continue to do to help
Yes.
grow the city, and I look forward to seeing you in those restaurants in town.
All righty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching Heart of Royse City. This video series, which is designed to celebrate Royse City, Texas, is spearheaded by REMAX 3D Real Estate.